Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So recently I received quite a few emails from people asking me about cellulite and how can they get rid of it. Great question. I know that many people, especially women, are prone to getting cellulite, and it's one of those things that it's kind of from person to person. Some people, they're able to get rid of it pretty easily, and others are able to decrease the appearance of it, and then there's some people out there that it's almost near impossible to get rid of it. So it's one of those things that I find with cellulite is that if you want to get rid of it, you really have to commit long term. Okay, you don't just make a few diet and lifestyle changes for a few days or a few weeks and expect to have permanent phenomenal results or even overnight results. With cellulite, it's something that it takes a while to change. It could take months, it could even take years. And I find cellulite has memory. So it's kind of like if you take out a few things from your diet or your lifestyle that's causing the cellulite or affecting it, and then you reintroduce it back in, usually the cellulite will come right back. So it's one of those things that if you want to really get rid of it, you have to commit to really improving your diet and making the effort. Okay, so the first suggestion I have is actually with diet. There are a few things that you can get rid of that will help the cellulite. Either it can help get rid of it completely or at least decrease the appearance of it. The first thing is actually coffee, okay, and caffeine in general. But I really say with coffee. Coffee is a diuretic, and it's one of those things that if you have a lot of coffee in your diet, it might actually increase the appearance of cellulite. And I think there's a lot of confusion about this because on the market there's a lot of lotions that contain either coffee or caffeine that are specifically made for cellulite. And so when someone sees that, they think, oh, I should be drinking more coffee, because if they're making coffee lotion to get rid of cellulite, then if I drink it, I'll get the same results. And that's not true, okay? Because coffee is a diuretic, so pretty much it's dehydrating your body, okay? Coffee flushes out the fluids out of your body. And the thing is that if the fluids are flushed out, then areas where you're prone to getting cellulite, it'll be dehydrated and it will show more. Now, if you were to use a cream that has coffee extract in it or some sort of caffeine extract in it, the thing about the cream is that when you apply it onto your skin, it increases blood flow to that area, and therefore it plumps it up. So it disguises the appearance of cellulite. But the coffee or the caffeine extract it's different. It's affecting the body differently from putting it on your skin to ingesting it. So if you want to try out some of those lotions and potions that claim to get rid of cellulite, you can. And for some people it actually works, having a little bit of the coffee extract in their cream to plump up that area and disguise the appearance of cellulite. It's not going to remove it, but it'll disguise it. But the one thing I suggest is eliminating coffee, soda, anything with caffeine in it, anything that's a diuretic, because really what you want to be doing is hydrating yourself. You want to be filling yourself up with fluids that, especially in those areas that it plumps it up, that it's not dehydrated and not sagging, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing is getting rid of refined sugars and refined ingredients out of the diet, okay? Refined sugars, white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, all that kind of stuff, it's not doing your body any good. There's no perk to it, okay? And pretty much it's just empty calories, there's no nutrients in it, and it's a little bit of an inflammatory in your system. And so that's like the last thing you want to have if you want to improve the appearance of your skin. Because that's what you're working at, is to improve the appearance of your skin and improve blood flow. And if you're taking in something like sugar, it is an inflammatory effect on the body, okay? It is a compound that does cause inflammation, and that's the last thing you want. So you gotta try your best to remove the refined sugars. Having fruit or something like that, that's fine, because it's not a refined sugar, it's not a processed food. But the white sugar, the candy, the cakes, that kind of stuff, you gotta get rid of it. Another thing is alcohol, okay? Alcohol too, when it's broken down, is pure sugar, and it's also has an inflammatory effect on the body, plus it's also a diuretic as well, and it does affect the cellulite. So you gotta just eliminate alcohol from your diet, and that includes wine as well. I also suggest too, which this is not really diet-wise, but it's lifestyle-wise, is if you smoke, get rid of the cigarettes as well, because that's a diuretic too, and it affects the appearance of your skin. I find when I used to be prone to cellulite when I was younger, when I was a heavy smoker and a heavy coffee drinker. And I was also probably at my thinnest. I was very, very thin. I was very underweight, but I had a lot of cellulite in the back of my legs. And I found once I decreased and then eliminated these things, the coffee and the cigarettes, it eventually completely went away. So that is something to take into consideration, is that if you really want to improve your appearance, you got to take the bad stuff out, because that stuff's not working for you. Next thing is exercise. Okay, it's important to build up muscle. Pretty much what you want to do is that areas where you're having the cellulite is that you want your muscle to grow there so that it can lift it up, that it can fill out that area as well. And you don't want to fill it out with fat, but you want to fill it out with some lean, good, toned muscle. And that will help lift up the skin and decrease the appearance of the cellulite. It will also help your lymphatic system. Every time you exercise, every time you sweat, you are letting your body detoxify itself. You're letting your body sort of pump out and flush out toxins and waste. You don't want that accumulating in your body. And I find with the cellulite, is that the cellulite appears in places where you're accumulating water, you're accumulating waste, and where things are a little bit stagnant. So if you're doing exercise, that's going to really help to just move things out, move things away, and to sweat things out, which is what you want to do. So one thing with exercise is that if you want to get rid of the cellulite, it's not only about cardiovascular exercise. And I'd actually say it's more about doing muscular exercise. Whether you're using weights or not, that's up to you. You can also use your own body resistance as a weight. But I would suggest doing a lot of lower body exercises like squats, lunges, leg lifts, things like that. That's really what's going to lift things up and tone things up. It's also great though to incorporate some cardiovascular exercise with that, because that's what's going to get your lymphatic system going. So definitely add that in. I suggest too, you can try out going into a sauna or a steam bath. But the one thing is that you don't want to dehydrate yourself. Okay, so be very careful with that, because a lot of times people get really into doing like the steam rooms and the saunas, and a lot of times they're not getting enough fluids. And the one thing with the cellulite is you really want to make sure you're always hydrated, so be drinking plenty of water. But the one thing that I do suggest doing that can help is using a dry skin brush. There's different types of dry skin brushes on the market. This is mine. Usually, I think the more mainstream ones are the ones that have the long bristles. It looks like a brush and it has a long stick, and people usually use it for their back. You can find it at any health food store. The dry skin brush, when you use it in areas where you've got the cellulite, and you use it in a circular motion or in an upward motion towards your heart, or a downward motion towards your heart, depending where the cellulite is. So let's say you have cellulite in the back of your legs, you're going to want to move the brush up your leg. And you're going to also want to move in a circular motion, because the circular motion is really what's going to get the circulation going, and it's going to just kind of massage that area of the body, which will help. Okay, and this is something that you need to do once a day, every single day, when your skin is dry, not when it's wet, but when it's dry. Okay, very important. Before you go and take a shower, use the dry skin brush. This can definitely help. You can also make sure too that your skin is well moisturized. I suggest for moisturizing just using any kind of edible oil. I like extra virgin cold pressed coconut oil, but olive oil is also great. So is jojoba oil or apricot oil or almond oil or any kind of oil. Sesame oil is also a really good one. Whatever you like. Keep your skin moisturized. And also I would suggest too, if you're living in an environment where there's a lot of heating, like indoor heating, like you're living in like North America or in Europe in the winter months, your heating system is going to dry out the air, which is also going to dry out your skin, which also increases the appearance of cellulite. So you might want to think about getting a cold water humidifier just to increase the moisture in the air, because that too can help. All right, so these are my lifestyle and tips for the cellulite. They're very simple, but the thing is that you really have to commit. You really, really need to commit, and you need to be consistent. And with the exercise, one thing I suggest is making sure you exercise at least 5 days a week. At least. Everyone should be exercising minimum 30 minutes a day. Even if that means 30 minutes of like walking to work, that's counted. But you gotta get up there and exercise. You gotta be constantly moving around, because that's what's gonna do your body good. And the more you're standing up and moving around, the firmer your body's gonna be. You know, the more things are going to be lifted and used, the better your circulation's going to be, the better your lymphatic system's going to be moving things through. All right, so those are my tips for today, and I'm wishing you guys a super fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.